know for a lot of the professional, like powwow type A women, you know, they don't like to talk about it, kind of what they desire.
Yeah.
But because they're so type A in the boardroom or in their businesses, they want somebody to kind of pick them up and scoop them up and be that, you know, big, you know, vivacious power for them to submit and surrender to.
Yeah.
But when you're explaining it like that, it's kind of like, oh, whatever happened to being hyper feminist and, you know, the movement. So can you explain what is that dichotomy?
So the hyper feminist and that movement and all of that versus the dynamics that I'm speaking about, it's, to me, as someone who is very like femme empowerment forward and all of that, I am such a submissive kitten in the right circumstances. And also I am a part of the right circumstances. I have to choose it. I got to know and take responsibility that that's what I need and that's what I desire deep down, even if I'm high T because I'm making decisions all day and I'm running a business and my husband works for me, which is a fun dynamic, right?
Oh, wow.
So how do I get to create an environment
because you are
where
that high power woman. Yeah.
I'm very type A, military mom.
Yes, that's right.
You know, and and men leave, they're not trustworthy. I got to hold all the space. Like you might leave at any point in time. So like, what am I going to do if you walk out and everything falls apart? I got to hold it together. Oof. So thank goodness I'm learning some of these things before I wind up restart our family, you know, and I could potentially impose it upon them. But, you know, it's made me who I am today. So I very much resonate with the person that you're speaking about. So I think a lot of women, people in general, but I think in the context of this conversation, women desire to surrender and just like let it all down, let it all go. And there's a confusion at times that they want to submit and just not do anything. But submission is not passivity. Submission is also playing a role in a dynamic. It's being held. And sometimes when I'm educating, the DS and the BDSM language it doesn't resonate for some people because they might have some judgments and they might have some feels about it. So we use leader follower.
Oh, I love that.
Someone's leading an experience and someone's allowing that person to lead, is surrendering to their guidance and their nurturing. And a lot of kink and a lot of DS, if you were to really look at it played out in the real world and in bedrooms all over and in dungeons all over, it's very nurturing. It's like, I'm going to give you a thing that we've predetermined you want and you desire. I'm going to give you this thing. We're going to check judgment out the door, what it looks like.
Right.
The way we get there is unconventional. But there's love and there's care, and kink and BDSM can be super healing for people.
Yeah, well, and it's so interesting because I love that you're allowing people to explore and explore the ways of their own sensuality and their own sexuality. Because I know that there's this show called Billions. I don't know if you've watched it.
I sure have.
Yeah.
Yes, Chuck.
Yes.
He's a submissive male.
And he holds so much power in the day. And they kind of really, and you'll see a lot of this because I have a good friend who's a dominatrix.
Yes.
And she would always share that all of her clients were these really high-powered men that she would do like the most bizarre things for them, like smack them.
Yeah,
humiliate them. Humiliate them in public. That's all they wanted. Or like, you know, light candles and just
drip the
try
wax.
to, all on their back, on their chest. And so do these like weird things, you know, do her like 6-inch heels and step on them. Like, so in Billions, they make it okay. They normalize it for a male to do that. But for a female, that's not really even talked about.
Very anti-2022.
Right.
I suppose. Yeah, I love that they portrayed that in Billions. Of course, there was still a decent amount of shame because it was thrown back at him that if you don't act a certain way, we're going to publicize this and you're potentially going to lose everything you've ever worked for. And of course, that's fucked up. And for women, I think, for me, I'll just speak for myself. You know, no matter what the culturescape looks like or what's right or what's wrong, so to speak, like I came out of all these boxes. I made a promise to myself. And I think a lot of people that wind up working with me, they're in the process of making those promises to themselves too, that they're going to stop fucking listening to all of the noise of what it's supposed to mean. Or if you like to engage with your husband and he makes you beg, So what? It feels good. And both parties are consenting so that they show up outside of the bedroom, the best parents, the best lovers, the best whatever they do is their career. Like the avenue that people get to their happy, I'm not judging that. You know, for me, and even those, and I've gotten to a point now where it's almost impossible to shock me.
Okay.
You know, like sometimes I kind of miss it, you know, where someone says a thing, they're like, oh yeah, but I've got this thing that I really like and I don't know how I'm going to date because I'm afraid that if I say it to people whenever I'm dating that they're just going to run away. And then they tell me that they like to tickle feet and I'm like, okay, you know.
You're like, that's so kindergarten.
I mean, taboo is whatever is taboo to you.